Yeah, my name's Richard Smith from Rich Landscapes. I've been designing skate parks since about 2004 when I first got involved. Yeah, once I was coming to the end of high school, I did want to become an architect, but then my grades weren't really good enough to get into architecture school. But I managed to get my grades good enough to get into landscape architectural school and do a bachelor's, which in the end turned out to be the best thing ever, because I was just so much more about that, being outside and probably not so controlled by so many rules and that as well. You're more controlled by the rules of nature. That was kind of a big thing that got me into the degree, and then as I was studying the degree I was actively skating as well, and then over time the two just started coming together, and I could see the opportunities that existed in the position that I was in. So in terms of designing skate parks, I'm always trying to get a bit of green into the skate parks as well, rather than it just being a massive concrete jungle. I think it's good to really soften the landscape, and make it more aesthetically pleasing for people who are viewing the space, and then people actually using the space as well. It doesn't need to just be all concrete. There's ways to kind of break things up and make it a mix of materials and aesthetics. It usually just comes down to who we're working with and kind of the space that we're dealing with, whether it will work out or not. I think the first time I got involved in skate parks was when the Clendon skate park was getting designed and subsequently built. My friend Justin Moray was an architect at a firm in Auckland City, and he was in charge of the doing the design and stuff. He was also a skateboarder as well, and he invited me along to kind of be part of the user group for the Clendon skate park development. I went along. I pretty much was the only skater there. All the other kids had been rounded up from outside. They'd all been just bouncing balls in the car park and stuff like that. So they all wanted like log flumes and full pipes and just lots of weird stuff. At that time I kind of talked to Justin and said, well, why don't we look at staging the space so we have all these different levels and we can kind of interchange between them and stuff. Justin took that, and then put out the design, and it was just like spot on, I thought, with what he did. So at the time it was really great. We were involved designing the environment, and then the Auckland Council put it out to one of their local contractors to do the works. To come back and revisit the Clendon skate park was just awesome, because it was kind of where I started, and then I've just done this big circle and come back to being involved in it again from a different standpoint. So yeah, no, that was great. In terms of starting up Rich Landscapes, I ended up consulting the various people doing skate park designs and residential projects as well. As things kind of moved on, we hit 2008 with the big crunch, and most of the work at the time I was doing then with the architectural firm I was working with were large 3D master plan models that were used for redeveloping big areas of cities and all that stuff just dried up overnight. So it came to a point of I could either sit at the architectural firm and draw up cupboards for schools, or I could just go off and do my own thing. So I just chose to go and do my own thing, and it was a bit of a hit at the start and whatnot. I just kept at it and started talking to people, and then started getting projects in, which helped kind of keep me going, and then it just evolved from there. Really, the work just started coming in more and more, which was great. I really started Rich Landscapes in 2002, but it really became my full-time in 2008 once the crunch hit. From then on, from 2013, it really started picking up, and at one point I was kind of working on about 20 skate parks a year. For a few years there was just so many parks, just getting them out. Yeah, I think in the last 10 years there's been quite a lot of changes, and in recent times even more. Things are just continuously evolving. Skate parks are just getting bigger and bigger. People are starting to see the benefits of it. The old school naysayers idea that that these places are troublesome spots is disappearing, dissipating, going. We're seeing more integration in streetscape developments and things like that, people trying to integrate skateboarding into the urban fabric. I think there's lots more opportunity in that area as well. In terms of skate parks, they're evolving now. We're seeing it in the Olympics, so there's that whole sort of competition aspect to the design. So whether communities go down that road to make their park very competitive, or is it more keeping it as like a community park, which is a destination and has its own aesthetic. Yeah, there's so many options, I think, for how skateboarding environments are developed in New Zealand.